Hi guys, today I want to share with you the reasons why we are no longer going to continue with America's Story 1. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emma. In here, I like to talk anything that has to do with homeschool, sprinkle a little bit of motherhood and lifestyle here and there. If you're new, my name is Emma. I have one kid. And today I just want to share with you the reasons why we are no longer going to continue with America's Story 1. That is a sad story for me because I do enjoy the program and I like the fact that it is a Christian program, but I noticed that my son was not enjoying the program. First of all, before I just go through the reasons why we are no longer going to continue with America's Story 1, I would like just to explain to you guys the material. So the first thing that you're going to have is this textbook, and this is written by Angela Odell. It is a very colorful book. It has a lot of pictures and images. It's very simple. I like the fact that it has the timeline on the top for your kid to be able to see that and for you to be able to provide that information if you're the one reading the book with your kid. You can find these where you can just download and you can have actually the book on your tablet or iPad, or you can just purchase the textbook as well. You have the option of purchasing the audiobook, and I will be talking about that because I did purchase that audiobook on MP3. And as well, you're going to have this teacher guide that more than a teacher guide, it works more as a workbook for your kid, because in here is that they're going to find those materials where they are going to have some maps, questions, as well some review of vocabulary. They're going to be doing some art, and I will just give you a quick flip through, even though I have a flip through already of this program, but a quick flip through that will just going very well with what I am going to and about to say with this review, correct? So we've been working with the program. We've been going through the teacher guide, which pretty much is like the workbook for the kid, is where you are going to find the answer keys as well as the cheats that your kids are going to be needing to complete the work with the textbook, correct? I decide to divide that. So all the teacher keys and answers, I just have it on my binder, and what I am using is a hybrid binder. This is a 5-star 5-med binder, correct? And I have those answer keys in here. I have the map here. When we are needing the map, we can just use it. So it pretty much has a little bit of geography. Every time they talk about something, it shows a map, and they have the opportunity to go through that map as well. It has vocabulary, so they can be just learning that vocabulary, and you can see that through the chapter with the textbook, correct? So it's easy for them to be able as well. They can just make note of the vocabulary that they find throughout the story, correct? But you can see that vocabulary there, right there. And it was working very well at the beginning. He was very excited about the program, but after that, I noticed that he was not retaining the information. I noticed as well that he was having a little bit of trouble concentrating when we were doing America's Story 1. And while we continue going through the program, I have to say that he's having a little bit of trouble retaining that information. While I do find that the stories are written in a very fun way, it's like a story, like somebody telling you a story. And I think that was very smart for the author to create the program as that. But I noticed that it was he was feeling like he couldn't go through the story. He feels like there's no excitement. He feels like it was missing more information, especially with some of the chapters. He was very interested on getting extra information, which I provide that information for him. But I guess what he's trying to say is that he he would enjoy if that information was just all concentrated in one book. I did enjoy the fact that the history is just told in a very short way, like a story. I do enjoy that. I enjoy the narration breaks every time you go through a chapter and they just provide a few information. There's a narration break and then continues with that information. I think I enjoy that because if your kid has a very short retention, I think just doing it like that is a way for you to make sure that they're grasping the information and that they're understanding that information and retaining it as well, which is very important. But I noticed that he was not really focusing. He's not very paying so much attention. And as well, I noticed that he was finding it boring. And when he finds things that are boring, it just his attention will be just going away and he will just not retain that information. So I noticed that with the program. Something else that I noticed is that I decided to purchase the audiobook as a way to help me out because we do a lot of car schooling. I work outside and we do a lot of car schooling. So I was just trying to get that audiobook to help me out a little bit. And he didn't enjoy the audiobook as well. He found it monotonous. And if you want me to be honest, I found that audiobook a little bit monotonous as well. Something else that I noticed is in the book they refer to the indigenous as Indians, which is something that I dislike a little bit. And when it comes to the audiobook, she expresses Native Americans, which I think that she was just trying to fix the fact that they were called Indians on the textbook. But it was so confusing for him to listening on the audiobook saying Native Americans, and on the book it's just they're called Indians instead of indigenous or Native Americans. Something as well that I noticed is that there were some differences when it was just when you listen to the audiobook and then just you go through the textbook. It's not exactly word by word. So there are some differences. So that caused for him to dislike the program. As well, I didn't like some of the expressions about the indigenous, our Native Americans, and I cannot point out the chapter. I wish I made a note or just mark the chapter, but there's a reference here that I didn't like so much, and he didn't enjoy that as well. Something else that I noticed is when we go through the answer keys and we go through the activities, some of the activities have a little bit of errors. So if you notice in here, he created this crossword and he was having some problems finding the answers because he just expresses to me the answer and I say, okay, that is just correct. So example in here, he was supposed to answer Joseph Warren and he did that. It says across and then the vertical ones. And he was just, it was not going well because when you go to the answer in the answer book, which is the teacher guide, where they are going to find as well the activities, you can tell that they made a mistake here. So they stretch more these two lines here. I don't know if you guys can notice that, these two lines. And on the text book here on the teacher guide, that crossword there, you can see there's a mistake there with the answer. So in order for him to be able to have that correct, he had to add the abbreviation for doctor and the, I think is the Sons of Liberty here. He has to add it the there. So I think it's right here. So he didn't enjoy that. It makes him confused. And I was just wondering why they did that. So that's something. I noticed as well other mistakes here and there. Not a big issue. We can continue with the program. I still think it's a good program. I still think that the way that they tell the story is a fun way. He just doesn't like it. He is just, remember that what might work for us might not work for you, and what may work for you might not work for us. So this is just what we think about the program. I am not here bashing the company as well. I am just stating why we are no longer going to continue with this program. It is a good program. It has good images, good activities for them to create. I like the fact that it has art in there and that they can just express everything through them drawing. And as well, I like the activities. It's just he didn't enjoy the program, and I really didn't enjoy the audiobook. I think it's a little bit monotonous. I thought that I just had to get a little bit more into by just using it more often, and just to see if I get warm up to the voice or the way that the author is retelling the story. And I just don't see myself being able to continue with the program and using the audiobook, because I just don't enjoy the audiobook. I enjoy perhaps the textbook. I do like the way that the textbook is written. I wish that some of the pictures, like in here, these pictures here, were in between the stories. It's just sometimes I have to just go and narrate the story or talk about the story and just prepare myself a little bit ahead of time to see if those pictures or that information will go in a specific with that part of the story, just to make sure, so I don't have to go at the end just showing him these pictures out of the blue without making any connection back to where we were reading. So that's what we think about the program. I do enjoy the program. He didn't enjoy the program as much. We still continue with the program. We are pretty much a little bit more of half the program. And I want to continue using it until we finish the program. I would like to do that. And I already purchased another program for history, and we are just trying that program. I actually purchased just one book, and we've been using it for a while now. He's been enjoying it, but I will just like to make sure, because I would like not to continue purchasing and just changing if there's no reason to do that. So I would like to take my time and just make sure that he's enjoying the other program prior I start purchasing the rest of the materials, correct? So I would like to just explain to you a little bit more about America's Story. So I will switch the camera and just show you a little bit. Okay, you guys, so here you have America's Story 1, from the ancient Americas to the Great Gold Rush. This is from Master Books, and it's written by Angela Odell. Here you have the scope and sequence. And here is chapter 1. So I would like to give you just how we work with the program, so you guys have an idea. So here we have who lived here first. This is the starting point. So I usually read this to my kid, show him this picture, and then go through the Mysteries of the Mound Builders to this section of the book, which is just a preview of what they are going to be reading with that chapter. I liked as well to go through the timeline here with him and just start reading through the story, correct? I read this information in here, which are the vocabulary words. They are just concentrated here, but if they find any vocabulary words through the story, they are able to do it and to add it through activities that they're going to be encountering here with the teacher guide, correct? So example, if we do this lesson, we will go through the teacher guide. Let me just add it here. And they have this section here where they can just add the vocabulary words that they find in the story, correct? So you have it there. We continue with the story, and they will encounter a narration break. If you're the one reading the story, well, you will do that narration break with your kid. If they are reading them, they will just read the story and just do that narration break for you to be able to know if they're actually retaining the information. So you have that narration break there. So you have one part of the chapter here that is done. Do the narration break and then continue with the rest. You have some images, some pictures, and you have another narration break. Once they continue, they can either find pictures here or they can have maps, which is very helpful if you want to do a geography at the same time, and it just works a little bit with that. If you don't want to add another geography book. But you have here more pictures, and this is what I wish it will be added here as well within the information. Because I feel a little bit that the program's a little bit discombobulated when we have to go towards here after we have read the story and just seeing pictures. And even though it has a little bit of an explanation, I just wish it was integrated with the story. But it's not a big deal. We still can work very well with it, and I liked it. I like the pictures. I like the illustrations. And in here you have a little bit more of information that is just reviewing and giving a quick narration of what they encounter in that chapters, and then thoughts to remember that will just answer these questions that they get at the front. So if you notice here, ready to explore, how do you think people first arrived in the Americas originally? And number 2, what do you think life was like in the Americas before visitors from Europe arrived? And then they get that answer here. Okay, so they will be just getting ready when they read this question. Is for them to get them ready to prepare to look for that prior they start the chapter, so they are ready while you're reading, for them to be able to look at those questions to see how they can get that answer. And I think that's very helpful, especially if your kid has a short retention or they have some memory issues, that is easier for them to know ahead of time what they're going to be looking for. Correct? So I think that's very helpful, and we like that a lot. And you can see that the program continues in that same pattern, correct? So I have a flip through the pages, so I will leave it here, but I would like to show you now the teacher guide, and I just show you already how that looks. So you get some information for you. Here's the table of content, how to use the teacher guide. Approximately, it takes 45 minutes per lesson, 4 to 5 days a week. And they actually provide a schedule for you that you can just follow. And it's easy as well. So I do enjoy that, because they give you that option for you to follow that schedule if you would like to follow. If you're new as a homeschooler, I think it's very helpful that you are able to follow that schedule. They provide a black and white timeline, but you can purchase a timeline on their website, and it will be helpful as well. Some suggestions for book, for maps, as well a parent bookmark, founding a relationship with knowledge. And here you have what will be the first chapter. So you who live here first, and some note for the parent, the materials, which is helpful to know the materials ahead of time, so you can find that on the teacher guide. Oral narration, questions and answers that you can do with your kid, as well optional digging deeper, some more information or suggestions for books. So that is very helpful as well. Here you have more notes for the parent or teacher. You have the activities in here. It could include questions, fill in the blanks, as well to sketching. You see more questions, fill in the blanks. They can just circle, maps, timeline. And again, it repeats all over again. And it's pretty much almost the same activities. It just varies here and there, but pretty much most of the same. So here you have crosswords, chapter 3, sketching, questions, activities. We pretty much these most of the activities, but I jumped some of them. I just thought that it was repetitive, and for some reason I didn't want him to do that specific activities. But the ones that were sketching or some of the questions, just to make sure that he was retaining the information, we went through those, as well as some of the crosswords. So that's how the program is made. In here I would like to show you the crossword that I was just explaining now. And I would like to show you as well here what I use to accommodate those pages for the guide, for the teacher guide. And I would like to show you here. I have a few stuff in this same binder, but here's how it looks, the schedule that they suggest for you. So first semester suggested daily schedule. So you have that schedule in here, and this is very helpful if you're new as a homeschooler, because you are not going to be guessing, and it just gives you an idea on how to work very well with the program, and it's just easy for you to do. And here you have the activity pages and the key for the activity pages. It has another extra activity in here, and let me just show you that. And it's talking about special projects ideas for use with America's Story, and that's very important because it makes the program a little bit more attractive to your kids. We haven't done the activities, if you want me to be honest, and I don't know if I would like to add at some point now at the end of the book, but we've been doing as well the rest of the activities, is what I am trying to say. Here you have review sheets for you for use with the America's Story 1. And you can find here the crosswords, and you can find as well some questions and activities, fill in the blanks. Just to review, you can use those as review, or you can use those as a test to make sure that your kid is retaining that information. But so far, that's how we've been using the program. I sometimes do the review sheets. Sometimes we do just the ones that are at the front of the teacher guide. We use the world map and we use the maps, and I like to have him do that work because I think it is important. It works as geography for us, especially when we are doing history of the US, correct? So here we have the key for the activities, and I would like to do those review sheets with him, and some of them I might use as tests just to see if he is retaining well the information. I haven't done that yet, but I think at the end of our America's Story, I would like to see how he's been working. So I would like to just go through these sheets. Probably not all of them, but some of them, if not all. I don't know. I will decide eventually. But so far, he's not been enjoying the program as it is, as we've been doing it. He finds it a little bit monotonous and not a lot of excitement when it comes to the story. So that is something that was making me a little bit worried. I do enjoy the program. I do like the activities, and I do like the crosswords and all of that. I just noticed those mistakes, and that took me a little bit, I was not very happy with that. And I didn't enjoy the audiobook. That's something that I didn't enjoy as much. I do like the flexibility of having the audiobook because it just helps you. If you're on the go, you can just have that audio there and they can just continue doing their work with their history. But besides that, I just didn't like how it just sounds a little bit monotonous. Well, that's all, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think still that America's Story is a good program. Just because it didn't work for us doesn't mean that it's not going to work for you. Just have that in mind and take everything I just said in here with a grain of salt, okay? And I just want to express that, but we really didn't enjoy the program. I have my kid in here. Did you enjoy the program?
So I don't like it that much.
You heard that. So he didn't like it that much. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad program. It's really a good program, and I enjoy the way that the story is format. He just didn't enjoy the program. and I would like to find something that we both can enjoy equally, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you then. Bye-bye. Give me a thumbs up.
And also, please give us a lot of subscribers, please.
Okay.
Likes and hit the bell button.
Bye-bye.